So then we move on to the study pages. This is going to be the first page of each verse that we do. So we have 3 questions, and this is kind of like that hypothesis. If you write up here somewhere your verse, then you'll have it there to reflect on. You should be able to answer these 3 questions based off of your verse. So really you just want to make an educated guess, like a hypothesis, about what potentially the answer to these questions is, based off of nothing else beside that single verse. So what is the point of the verse? Why is it important? And how do we respond? You should be able to answer that with just that information in the verse. If not, you will get to that as you work through the different pages. And then at the very end, we're going to make a conclusion and come back here and put actually what you found through all your research, what the point was, why it was important, and how you can respond. You can come back and add to this as you go instead of waiting until the very end. And also on the verse board, you'll see that there is a place to put what, why, or how by each verse, so that when you get to the end and you're ready to make your final points on this sheet, you can find them quickly. So keep those in mind as you're working. The next is the context board. This is here because you want to make sure in any study that you're doing that you're understanding the context. What's happening in this chapter? What's happening in the book that you're reading from? What's happening in this small section of this chapter? Each chapter in the Bible has a heading to tell you what you're about to read about. So those are the things I like to write here. And then down here, you'll also have a place to write out a couple of the verses before and or after the verse that you're working on, just to help you understand what's going on, and that making sure you're not taking this verse and these words out of context. Then up here, you're going to write your reference, the book, chapter, and verse. Then right here, write out your verse and circle the translation that you wrote it from. You may not use the same one every time, and it could be a different one that is here. These are just the 4 that I recommend that are closest to the original translation of the Bible. And just briefly, if you go to the very back in the appendix, you can see I have a note here on Bible translations. There's word for word, thought for thought, and then it begins to paraphrase. I think we all know about the Message. It's really almost like reading an article more than a Bible. So word for word, NASB, King James, ESV. I actually haven't used these. Let's see, it is New Revised Standard Version and New American Bible are more word for word. These are more common. And I think a lot of us have used NIV, which is on more the side of word for word than it is paraphrasing, but it falls right in the middle in thought for thought. So you might lose a little bit of the translation of the original text. So that's why I've chosen these NIV, ESV, King James, and NASB over here in our context board. So we stick more towards the original writing of the Bible. Then back to our the chapter that we're in. Find the author, where it's taking place, the dates that it took place, who's speaking or who they're speaking to, what is going on, what is the context of this. And this will just, increase your overall Bible knowledge, but also keep you in context as you're working. So again, write out your paragraph titles until you get down to the verse that you're working on, and then write out a few verses before and after that are pertinent to what you're about to study. So that's the context board.